Okay, here's a question for you. Client comes up to you, says when they envision themselves being dressed up and having a sense of style, it's not something they even feel comfortable trying out. How do you encourage them to take the chance? Do you even bother encouraging them to take a chance with that, or do you get them to find something they're already comfortable with?
I have a little trick. I do try and push them. Yes, I do. I have a little trick. When they're going shopping with me, they're not spending any money during the session. All they're doing is trying on clothes. So they're not afraid to try a lot of different things. And I will push them to try something because they're not thinking about they're going to have to buy it or not.
So wait a minute. You go shopping with these men for 5 hours.
Yeah.
You don't buy a thing.
That's right.
Isn't that like what women do?
Probably, yeah. What the concept is that if they're not worried about buying something and looking at price tags, they're more willing to try it on. They're not tied to actually having the investment of buying it. So I've had guys who are very conservative, and I'm like, just try this on. Who cares? It'll take you 5 minutes. If you don't like it, take it off. So I do push them. And it's amazing when they try something they never thought of, and they're like, oh, wow. A good example is I'm a big fan of wearing three-quarter length boots. Most guys haven't tried on a pair of boots with a big heel. It's a bold look. It's an aggressive look. Most guys are like, no. As soon as I put them in these boots, I can't get them off them. Okay. They walk differently. They feel more confident, and all of a sudden they're going out and buying them. So it's just pushing them a little bit. And sometimes they have trouble visualizing what they want to look like. In that case, I'll pull out some magazines. We'll look at some models. I also tell them to picture, a movie star that they've seen that they like their sense of style. They say, oh, I can picture myself looking like Colin Quinn. I'm like, okay, Google Colin Quinn images, and you'll see a million pictures of him dressed up. Print some of those out. We can go over them and see what he's wearing, and we can start developing something.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by the Adult Male Virgin Seminar and Telephone Consultations. Ladies, is your boyfriend an adult male virgin? Is he so shy and insecure that you need to take the initiative, but you really wish he would just be the man and take the lead? Does he think holding hands and sweet cheek kisses is fulfilling? Does he think the G-Spot is the name of a new club? Ladies, if his idea of a night of fun means you get to be player number 2 in his latest video game, then get him the gift that will give you both pleasure. The Adult Male Virgin Seminar and Telephone Consultations. Only available at franktalks.com. Frank helps adult boys become men.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Pimping Your Pad Seminars. Decorating your bachelor apartment. Your home and the way you live is an extension of your sexuality. Frank will show you, with pictures of his own home, what women look for that identifies you as a potential partner. Frank looks at everything from theme rooms to furniture placement and space management to pets to the organization of your bathroom to get women who want to spend the night. The Pimping Your Pad Seminars and Telephone Consultations. Only available at franktalks.com.
Would you like to sponsor Frank Talks? Visit www.franktalks.com and contact Frank, because he has to be. Sponsorships are always welcome, whether it's prize giveaways, parting gifts for our guests, studio equipment, accessories for the Frankmobile, or a host of other wonderment. Help Frank Talks make the world a better place, one interview at a time.
You're listening to Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles, and I'm Frank because I have to be. We're in studio today with Marvi Arlik from marviarlik.com. He is a fashion and image consultant for men. Marvi, let's talk about some of Marvi's rules of fashion.
First of all, I get a lot of questions of why these rules are. Why is this? Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to do this? A lot of the rules are based on women's fashions, and my advice is that that's what women pay attention to, so follow them. It's not a logical thing. The first one is a classic one where the color of the belt should match the color of your shoes. If you're wearing black shoes, wear a black belt. Women pay attention to that.
What if you're wearing like a pair of snakeskin shoes or something something of that nature.
Go for the same color tone. Doesn't have to be the exact same color, so the same shade. So if it's like gray snake skin, look for a gray belt, that sort of thing. So the same within the same tones is pretty good. I'm pretty anal. I try to match it exactly, but as long as it's in the same tone, women will notice if your belt and shoes match.
My question is why?
I can't answer that, and I don't try and figure it out. It's not logical. Just follow it. It's like a lot of things when it comes to women and dating. Don't quite try and question certain things. Just do what works.
What are some of your other rules?
Because I gear towards guys who are trying to look 25 to 32 to attract women between 20 and 40. No baseball caps when you're going out. The backward baseball cap look just doesn't work when you're wearing a blazer and nice jeans. Find a good tailor. That's probably one of my biggest. I'm a very big fan of clothes that fit properly, and when I go with a guy, I'll explain that. A lot of times you'll find something that might not fit exactly, it might fit 80% in terms of the sleeve or the shoulder or the fit. Your tailor's your friend. He'll take that shirt that looks okay and make it look amazing on you. Any local tailor that is usually pretty good. And then once you try, like I have a good tailor I go to, he knows my body type, he knows me very well. I don't have to sit and worry whether it's going to fit or not once I bring to him. So that's pretty important. No backpacks if you're not going to school. You see a lot of guys wearing now those man bags and more like over-the-shoulder type bags, leather and stuff like that. It looks a lot better to carry your stuff in than a backpack. So that's a big one for me as well. If you're wearing button-down shirts, make sure they're ironed. Make sure that what you're wearing looks crisp and new and doesn't look like you slept in it. For your wallet, make sure everyone see the Seinfeld episode where they got that really thick wallet that bulges out of your breast as you're looking at it. Keep your wallet slim. If you're wearing a nice suit or a nice sport coat and it's slim and you've got this big bulge coming out of your chest because it's in your breast pocket, I slim that down a bit so it's a cleaner look. And another good piece of advice is if you're wearing a piece of clothing with a pattern on it, try and keep the rest of the clothing more solid color so it doesn't conflict, that sort of thing. So those are the basic things I usually go over with guys.
When you started making these changes, the people around you were noticing that you were going from your 10-year corporate guy to a much more attention-grabbing image consultant. What were some of the experiences you got, or some of the reactions you got from the people you've knew all your life?
It's interesting. I ignored the comments from the guys, and I just listened to the comments from the women. I use women's comments as a springboard to see how things work in terms of fashion. So I notice, what my sister might say, women I've known in my past who suddenly see me change my style and they'll comment on the clothing and all of that stuff. So I knew I was on the right path based on the comments I was getting from women. And I clearly blocked out any comments I was getting from guys. It didn't affect me at all.
Give me an example of some of the comments men would make.
What's with the crazy boots? That was a pretty sudden change in the way you dress. Stuff like that. It's hard for me to say it because I wasn't really listening to it, so it's hard for me to verbalize what some of them are.
Do you still associate with some of those guys who are giving you a hard time?
No, there's some friends that I've had to, I don't want to say lost, but that I had to stop associating with because of negative thinking on their part. I think that's the sacrifice and that most guys who go through this process have to find out, is that you have to keep the friends and the people who are positive. And unfortunately, you might have to, drop people who are negative thinking because it's their negative thinking and you can't let it affect you.
How easy or how difficult is that process?
It's very difficult. At one point, once you realize that you can't take your friends with you all the time on a journey, it's hard. But in the end, you're responsible only for your own happiness. And you've got to let yourself go of other people's problems and really deal with your own. And once you go through that process and you accept that, it's easier to do.